Today, I want to take a little bit of time out of your day or night just to have a discussion about mixing vocals in FL Studio. I've thought long and hard on how I really wanted to go about making this video. I think back to when I was hearing and seeing all this stuff for the first time. I would go and watch a YouTube video and study it religiously, literally copying everything, compressor settings, every EQ setting, and end up with something that sounded nothing like what the guy in the video's recording sounded like. Obviously, I was at fault because I was mixing by copying instead of understanding why this person was making certain decisions, why they were putting this knob at that setting. Secondly, I'm not a mix engineer. Highly likely the YouTuber wasn't one either. So for me to say these are hard and fast rules for mixing would just be ridiculous. So what we are really going to talk about is the actual tools or plugins used to mix vocals and what they do. This is something I wish I had started with, as it would have helped me avoid some terrible habits and would have really just sped up the process of making good sounding music. So, without further ado, let's begin. When mixing your vocals or another artist's vocals, try to get a clean, raw audio file with no effects. At minimum, just some auto tune on if you really insist. This is going to make mixing a lot easier. So here are our random Simlish vocals, and before you knock me, my singing might sound a bit weird. I'm still very much with flu at the moment. Uzumuko garupo daruko marume Ruruku shaburuku waripa murse Radukuru sunumukunu for the pain. Whoa. Rada bada kasumi kitadu day mada day. Borukushki mihaj sudu mome kasab borumbushi kadad berombam musikuru bom bom bom. Make sure the vocal is clean. Home studios or bedroom studios aren't always the most spacious, so PC fan noise, as you could hear in my recording, or noises from outside can easily find their way into your vocal recordings. Use Edison's denoiser to clean this as much as possible. You can also use noise gates. I think as you've started out, you've come to realize that EQ is really important. This is especially important when it comes to vocals. Vocal frequencies are all over the place. So to tame unwanted frequencies, we can use the Fruity Parametric EQ. The parametric EQ has 7 bands, and we can adjust these bands to either increase or decrease the gain on these frequencies. Bands 2 to 6 are going to be set to peaking. That means if we increase or decrease the gain, these bands will be bell-shaped. Whereas the band 1 is a low shelf and band 7 is a high shelf. As you can see, when I move band 1, it brings everything below it down, and 7 would bring everything above it down. I'm sure you've seen vids where people cut off frequencies in the lower range of about 60 to 50 hertz. They are using a high pass filter. This leaves everything above said band untouched and everything below it is cut off. Hence, the name literally states all frequencies higher than this band may pass. On the top of the parametric EQ is a very useful frequency chart showing you which frequencies are which, starting from sub all the way to treble. If FL Studio is one thing, it's definitely beginner friendly. So just go to any band you want and adjust it and move it along the frequency spectrum, left or right, up and down to adjust the gain, and use your mouse scroller to adjust the band width. This more for the peaking bands. Try to be minimal with your adjustments, as completely removing a frequency will ruin the entire vocal. Practice makes perfect, and once you've got more comfortable, we can start looking at mid-side EQs and making dynamic EQs within Fruity Parametric EQ too. Next up is compression. Compression is about uniformity when it comes to vocals, especially. As I said, vocals can be all over the show. Loud, then all of a sudden the last phrase is quiet, and so compression is about control, making sure everything is going to sound uniform, literally compressing the sound. When mixing, you should not be doing what I'm doing here, and that's mixing the vocal in solo. You should be mixing so the vocal fits with the rest of the song. I obviously here don't have more song, so yeah. So to start, we need to consider the two key parts, threshold and ratio. Picture a line in the sand. This line is our threshold. Next is our ratio. So let's say our ratio is 2 to 1. Now consider someone, anyone, let's call this person Trevor. Every time Trevor takes 2 steps over the threshold, we push him back 1 step. So in the context of our song, we are only allowing it so far over the threshold. Anything past that, we squash back down according to our ratio. Porokuski mihaj sudu me kasab borumbushi kadad beromba musikuru bom 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 boom 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 boom. The rest of the knobs then work in conjunction with the previous two. Attack dictates how fast the compressor hits the moment the signal goes over the threshold. Release dictates how long the compression effect stays active from the moment it is activated. So we can actually change the actual transient of the sound. As I've said from the beginning, there is no one size fits all when it comes to compression. Some people hate harsh compression, others prefer to use multiple compressors on the vocal chain. Remember, you're recording in a different room with a different mic, with a different interface. What you do is not going to be the same as what X, Y, and Z do. And quite likely what they do are not going to be the same as each other. So next up we have our de-esser. In the 4000 to 12,000 Hz, we can find the sibilant frequencies that will stick out like a sore thumb. For this, we need a de-esser. FL Studio does have some awesome de-essers within the program. The plugin Patcher specifically has the Ulean Intelligent de-esser. However, you can use Maximus for this as well. Lot less knobs, lot less complicated. There are two presets for de-essing, either a narrow band or a split band. Narrow band is used for peaking, like I showed you in the EQ. A high band is used for shelving. Some people will put this on the start of the mixing chain, others will put this closer to the end. Again, there aren't any hard and fast rules here. Get to know your tools and then you can decide on how you would prefer to use them in your scenario. Now we move on to the sends. It's time to set up the reverb. Reverb can be a mess if not done right. It will make your whole mix sound muddy. So in the mixer, you want to add your reverb of choice. Remove the dry signal so this channel only affects the wet signal. We are using Fruity Reverb 2 for this. Again, the amount of wet is up to you. However, here we just want the wet signal all the way up. So route your vocals as you see me doing over here by saying sidechain to this track. This is so we don't get doubled on the dry signal. So Fruity Send is sending our wet signal to the reverb channel regardless of how we have our volume fader set in the mixer. As you can see, our volume is all the way down, however we still have our wet signal playing. What you could do, soon more gonna roll for the pain. Whoa. That's because Fruity Send's volume knob now controls how much of our dry signal goes to the reverb. Why do it like this? If I have 5 different inserts all going to the same reverb insert, I can adjust each one individually using Fruity Send. So Fruity Send can save you big time when your projects start getting large. Remember to have your BPM set correctly to make sure the reverb is on time. If you are using external VSTs, you may have to manually set your reverb time to match the BPM. Most people don't like Fruity Reverb 2, but I think it's pretty damn good with some tweaking. Its interface is also very simple, and a lot of the controls here are self-explanatory, and you can link it with the BPM in FL, no problem. When it comes to delay, I'm going to use the Fruity Send plugin again, and we are going to use the sidechain routing again. So here we are using Fruity Delay 2. Let's look at the knobs. Right off the bat, you know I'm removing the dry signal. In the input section, we have a pan knob and a volume knob. Both are pretty self-explanatory. However, when we head into the feedback section, we can see we have feedback volume, which is the delay effect volume. Cutoff affects how quickly the effect cuts off. If I set this to 0, nothing happens because the effect is instantly cut off. Time is the time in between each repetition or delay. Offset will create a sort of time offset between the left and right ear delay. Can be cool, can be very dangerous. Tread with caution. Rada kasumi kitadu te madade. Porokushki mihaj Sudu Mome Kasab Borumbushi Kadai. So this isn't even scratching the surface of the tools that you have at your disposal. Unfortunately, we are limited for time. You could add distortion. Automation on the delay is also a great way to make sure those echoes don't create clutter. Same with EQing the delays. You could fiddle with grow speed and more. I like to go into Maximus and add some more compression with the Sound Goodizer presets, for instance. Borukushki Mihaj Sudumome Kasab Borumbushi. All these small minimal steps add up to something great. Also, FL Studio's built-in VSTs are great. The samples, not so much, but the mixing VSTs sound great and have very intuitive features that if perhaps alone it can't do what you need, you can use another VST together with it to get the desired effect. Guys, that is all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching the video. I hope that you have a better understanding of how to use these plugins. They are all just tools, the ones that come with your DAW, be it Ableton, be it FL, be it Logic. They can do what you need. They can give you that high quality sound. You don't have to run around looking for expensive plugins, buying 10 billion expensive plugins. Look, I know that your Ozone is way more technical than what we've done here, but again, you can achieve great sound with stock plugins. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give us a like and subscribe if you enjoyed our content, and just have an amazing day.